Yeah, I want to talk about this lineal nonsense. Tyson Fury is very into being the lineal champion. That's the thing that a lot of people bring up, lineal, lineal, lineal. And what the lineal title means is that you got it from the beginning of boxing. So you had Bob Fitzsimmons, for example, for the heavyweight lineal title. He was the first, and then Bob Fitzsimmons passed it down to so on, so on, and so on. Now Tyson Fury has it. He won it from Vladimir Klitschko. And it's in every weight class, and not a lot of talk was really brought into the whole lineal thing until Tyson Fury retired from boxing. And then what happened was Anthony Joshua became the consensus #1 guy in the division. So Tyson Fury's like, no, 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 I'm the lineal still. And this is my problem with lineal in boxing is that when does it end? Like Lennox Lewis, he was the lineal heavyweight champion. He retired. Then Klitschko became the lineal heavyweight champion. Then Fury beat him. So if Tyson Fury gets to still be lineal after taking off from 2015 to 2018 and not fighting at all during that time, then what happens if Lennox Lewis comes out of retirement right now? Then Lennox Lewis says, I want to make a comeback. I'm making a comeback at however old he is. I don't know, 55 years old, however old Lennox Lewis is. I don't even know. And he says, I'm coming back to boxing. Who's the lineal champion? Is it Lennox Lewis or is it Tyson Fury? I mean, but Lennox was lineal, right? So he has to be. So to me, the lineal title is nonsense for that reason. Another reason why it's nonsense is because there's no mandatories for lineal. Whereas if you have the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, there are mandatories for that belt. So you have to defend your title. You take a guy like George Foreman when he knocked out Michael Moore to become the oldest champion in the history of boxing, heavyweight boxing, the oldest heavyweight champion ever. He was the oldest lineal champion for heavyweight ever. And then what happened? Foreman fought a bunch of easy guys. He didn't fight Moore again. He didn't fight Bo. He didn't fight Tyson. He didn't fight Lennox Lewis, Holyfield again. Instead, he was fighting guys like, Schultz and Von Bean and people like that. So he was holding the lineal title hostage. So that's my problem with lineal is you could just not fight good people and you're still called the lineal champion. So I'm not into it. I think the lineal championship is nonsense. And I think it's up to boxing fans to really decide who is the best and, use either the 4 belts or just, your own mentality. Honestly, I would even put the ring belt, even though that's a paper belt too. I would put that ahead of lineal because at least in the ring belt, you have to fight, if you're #1, you had to beat the #1 guy, or you had to beat, if you were in the top 3, beat another guy in the top 3. So, I mean, to me, I would rather use that as a measurement for greatness. But the lineal title is nonsense. And an example of how the lineal title is nonsense is Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest fighters ever, and to some people, the greatest fighter of all time, never held the lineal title in any weight class. Not at middleweight, not at super middleweight, not at light heavyweight, and not at heavyweight. And that's another reason why, because he didn't ever fight Darius Michalewski, and Michalewski was the lineal champion because he got it from Virgil Hill. So that's just an example of how the lineal title is nonsense. Please let me know what you guys think. Is the lineal title something that's important, or is it just a title and a bunch of nonsense? Peace.